Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Rick. I love that song. And of course, as soon as I hear the music, I'm back with Joan of Arcadia, which took that melody and wrote different lyrics to it, saying, what if God was one of us? And it was exactly the same melody and exactly the same accompaniment. So I just hear the accompaniment. I love it. It's so beautiful and perfect. This isn't about living 100 years, but it could be. This is about the longevity of our teaching, the science of mind. This is about the longevity of Ernest Holmes' works that he has been, he gave private lessons in 1918, 1919, 1920, private lessons. So private lessons for 99 years. And we have access to those lessons in a book called Love and Law, which is simply a transcript of those lessons and some other things that he spoke about. Like the other books that are compiled by George Brendel, it's kind of off-putting for a bit because it isn't like a book. If you start reading it like, oh, I'm listening to a lecture and he's going to repeat himself and he's going to make points and he's going to emphasize this and he's going to allude to that, then it starts making sense. So we don't have Love and Law here, but what I did was I just went to Amazon and got it on my Kindle. So now Kindle works on all of your devices. So it's on my phone, it's on my iPad, it's everywhere. I've been reading Love and Law, and it's so interesting to see where we've gone in this 99 years. What we're still embracing, what's the truth, and what maybe we've changed our minds about. One of those things, so it's a question and answers in part of it because he's answering questions about his lectures. And one of the students asked, what about dreams? And he said, oh, dreams aren't important. They just come from that junk in the subjective. Well, we now know that dreams are indeed quite important, that we can learn so much about ourselves by looking at what are we dreaming about. But so be it. He was 31 years old. And he also said in that lecture, I never dream. And I myself have said that only to find out that, oh yes, everybody dreams. You just don't remember your dreams. And probably because there's a reason that you don't want to know what you're dreaming about. Oh, okay. But the gist, the main thing, what he's mainly talking about in the whole book is the greatness of the idea, and that has been around for ages and ages and was coming into its own right around that turn of the century and in the early 20th century, when he was learning it and talking about it and having massive crowds of people coming to hear him because the ideas were so exciting, so brand new. The ideas are the very same ideas that we explore here every Sunday. Just exactly what Reverend Bruce's affirmative prayer was, that there's only one life, one power, one mind. We can call it God, we can call it whatever we want, but it is everywhere present. And no, we're not part of it, we're it. We're in it, of it, as it. It is using us if we let it. And if we let it, our lives blossom because it's magnificent. It's that mighty, moving, almighty God, the power itself. And it is right where you are, right where I am. And the reason the book is called Love and Law is because a synonym for it is love. It is love. Now, this was an interesting thing. I had a young couple come to interview me because they're getting married, and she's Jewish, and his parents were religious science years ago, and they wanted to be represented. But they both sat in front of me and said, neither one of us are spiritual. And I thought, but you're coming because you're getting married. And that implies to me that you love one another. And that's the most spiritual thing there is, love. So I'm taking that bent, that track. We're all spiritual in nature, whether we know it or not. We can stand around and say, oh, I don't believe in any of that. Well, it believes in you. You can say it all you like. I don't believe in it, but it is. It's the truth of you. It's who you are. So the person that wrote these notes is a minister from Peoria, Arizona. Her name is Reverend Karen Rice. And she has some great quotes, and the people who are with me in the Reverend Michael's class on Tuesday nights will like that she starts with a Swedenborg quote. I've never quoted Swedenborg in my life, but I will right now because it was part of her lesson here. Let me find the right page. Okay, here it is. Before anything is brought back into order, it is quite normal for it to be brought first into a kind of confusion, a virtual chaos. In this way, things that fit together badly are severed from each other, and when they have been severed, then the Lord arranges them in order. Now substitute the word law for Lord. So in other words, the divine order that is everywhere will bring things together. So let me read it again with that in mind. Before anything is brought back into order, it is quite normal for it to be brought first into a kind of confusion, a virtual chaos. In this way, things that fit together badly are severed from each other, and when they have been severed, then the Lord, law, arranges them in order. So Karen's point is, never before has the world needed our message more than right now. The world needs our message right now. So we can see the relevance today that when things seem to be in confusion and disorder, we might be tempted to say, there is nothing here, but what if that very thing that put them in confusion is the thing needed for us to have greater clarity about who we are, about what we are, about this mighty moving power that is within us. Holmes wrote in very dramatic times in history. And it really is, if you think about when he had thousands of people coming to hear his message, was at the height of the Depression. In the 1930s, that's when people were flocking to hear this message because it was a message of hope, a message of truth, a message of powerfulness. Romans 12:2 says, and be not conformed to this world. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good, acceptable, and perfect will of God. What is the perfect will of God for each one of us is a greater expression of itself through us. And what is it but love, but beauty, but truth, but kindness and compassion, order? So what is God's will for you? Those very things. Greater life, greater health, greater well-being, greater connection. So if it's all love and it's all law, so in the textbook, Ernest Holmes said, it's love points the way and law makes the way possible. So the direction in which we are to individually go, living our lives, comes from within us, comes from within us. That's love pointing the way in you, as you. But if we're being conformed to the world of effects, if we're saying yes to how bad things are, to the fears that we wake up to every morning, then what we are not doing is using that mighty moving mind within us for its greatest use. Its greatest use is for us to say, no, I'm here to make a difference. I'm here to be this love. I'm here to live in the possibilities that are inherent within me. The other thing that I noticed in his prayers, he doesn't end them with amen, and neither does he end it with, and so it is. He ends it with, so be it. I thought, well, that's a good way too. So be it. Let's have it this way. It's so be it. Because what we've done when we've prayed is simply stated something that is in alignment with the spiritual truth. We've stated something in alignment with the spiritual truth. The facts might not be conformed to it. Be not conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of our minds. We're all about transformation this month. And of course, it's the month of Easter, the month of new beginnings. It's a month for us to truly put on that new self. So I have other quotes to quote from Holmes, not just Swedenborg. He says also, we are on the borderland of a new experience. That was in 1918. Let me read it again. We are on the borderland of a new experience. Every time I read the textbook and read the line, we're coming to the time when science and religion will walk hand in hand. And I'm thinking, we're at that time. We're not coming to it. It is right now. Science and religion are walking hand in hand. The scientists are saying the same thing as we're saying. It's done unto us as we believe. If we want a different experience, change our intention, change our perception, change how we're seeing things, so the things that we're seeing can change. That really is up to us. He says, even as we witness fear and the uncertainty in the world, we can be certain that our own awareness of love points the way, just as we are certain of the constraint of about the constant action of the law. Maybe all we have to do is love what we love. That's a wonderful thought. Maybe all we have to do is love what we love. It's so easy for us to get knocked off our center. Yesterday, I had a private consultation, and it was just a wonderful experience of connection and oneness. And the affirmative prayer that I finished with was just clear and powerful and transformative. We could both feel it in the room. It felt so uplifting. And got out of the room. And within 10 minutes, I was noticing things that I didn't approve of. What? But there's only one. So Holmes says this again and again and again. We cannot afford to find fault, criticize, or blame any single thing around us. We cannot afford to do that. Why? Because that separation separates us from our power. It wasn't even a big thing, but it was something to notice how fast it was to move from oneness to otherness. Separation. Yeah, separation. So back to oneness, back to oneness. And I've been reading this Love and Law all weekend. So I've been immersing myself in this idea. And still, it was pretty easy. I made a judgment. There was someone sitting at Claudia's desk. But as my companion pointed out, it's an open desk. It's not inside a room. So maybe someone could go and sit there while they're waiting. So you're right. You're right. Just let it go. So, do you realize how powerful you are? We're powerful beyond measure, every single one of us. Not just the ministry practitioners or those that have studied. Every single one of us is powerful beyond measure. And our final emancipation will be written by us. You write yours, I write mine. There's something that awakens within you that says, yes, I am that. I am that spiritual being. I am that power. And then we are transformed by renewing our minds. Each one of us has been given a great, great gift. The pearl of great price. There are many spiritual stories written about people seeking forever for this pearl, trying to find it, and then they find it's already sewn in their jackets or it's already there, it's in them. A metaphor for what we have at hand. Everybody has it. Everybody has it. So how are we going to use it this week? For 99 years, we've had the opportunity to study, to have private lessons with Ernest Holmes. For 99 years, those lessons will still be available 99 years from now. But if we don't put them to use in our lives, they're of little value. So the thing is, choose. Make a decision. Choose. Choose today who you think you are. And then come from that place. Just like our affirmation said, choose love. Marianne Williamson said this, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It's the truth of us. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are the child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And we let our own light shine. We unconsciously give other people permission to do the same thing. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So, 99 years of private lessons. Don't let them go to waste. Last week I told you you might be all living to 132. And so looks like as I'm looking out, not too many are even in middle-aged yet. So, right? So it really is up to you. And to come from a place where you decide who you are and then let that guide you. And if you forget at times, choose again, make another decision. That's as simple as it is. There's a wonderful love song I'm going to close with, written by Michael Gott, called Love Can Move the World. It begins, just one life, that's all we've been given here. Just one chance to make a difference where we live. I'm just one man. I'm only human. But only human means I've got a lot to give. Love can move the world. As the moon in the sky moves the sea, love can cause the wars to cease. Love can move this world to peace. It's a tide that begins with you and me. Love can move the world as the warmth of the sun moves the tree. Feel the wind of love increase as we move this world to peace. Come love the world with me. Look around. There's someone hurting near you. Look around. There's something you can do. Look within and find your spirit to change the world. There's got to be a change in you. Love can move the world as the warmth of the sun moves the tree. Feel the wind of love increase as we move this world to peace. Come love the world with me, with you, with us. And so it is. Thank you. And we're going to pray again. Diane's going to do something.
Come with me into this resting place. Let your heart be free. No more worries, no more fear. Only God is here. Let it go. Release your breath. Free your mind and fly into spirit, into peace, into the heart of God, into spirit, into love, into the heart of God.
In this holy moment of now, I recognize and know that there is truly only one life. That life is the life of love. It is eternal and absolute. It is everywhere present. It is all-knowing. And in this holy moment of right now, I consciously remember that I am of it. I am one with it. And so is each and every person here. I speak this word for everyone, from that sense of oneness, of unity, of well-being, of peace of mind. I say yes to that divine flow of love, which is normal and natural and easy for each and every person. This is what I know. I know I am one with that presence that is the only healing power in the universe, that fills every cell, every tissue, every function, every fiber of my physical body, that is the perfect harmony within, that is the perfect awareness within, that is the perfect truth within. As I open my heart to love myself more, I love every single aspect of my physical body, even those parts that are wrinkled and not the same as they were at 18 or 17 or 22 or 45. Those new parts, love them all. I love them because love is my nature. I love every aspect of my healthy-minded living, of my consciousness, of my beingness. I love myself and I forgive myself for any mistakes that I have made, for any transgressions, for any sins, for any false beliefs. I simply let them be. I let go and let God in God's grace. I am that which I was created to be, perfect, whole, and complete. And I speak this word that I am that action and activity of prosperity that is forever current, that is flowing with the current of life itself, the current of prosperity, of abundance, that there's more than enough good in my life. And I welcome even more. There's more than enough good, for I live in an infinite, abundant universe, and I am integral to the wholeness that I am. And there is more than enough love. And so I cherish all connections, all friendships, all relationships, knowing that each one is there by divine design. And whether for a day, a moment, or a lifetime, I cherish each one and know that each one is a blessing that has blessed me and it blesses the other. And I speak this word for the entire universe, for the city of San Clemente, for the state of California, for our nation, for the world, that this is a day of new beginnings, of choosing peace, of choosing love, of choosing to see the goodness everywhere, even and especially in those dark places where we don't see it at first. Seeing it and saying yes to it. Yes, thank you, God. I see. I see correctly. I see through the eyes that are made whole, that are transformed by the renewing of my mind. And with my heart filled with great gratitude for all of the gifts that I am, that I have, that I give, I simply place this word in law. The mind of God has it. I accept that it's already true. So be it, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend